He's so veiny. He's so veiny.
Aloha, ladies and germs. Jeremy Vaeni. That's me, not any of you. This is He's So Veiny, which is about me, not any of you. Arguably, even if it is about you, even if one of these videos I do is about you, it's really still just about this guy. Today's video about me, but not me, is Kiran Trace, who I believe is someone wanted me to watch, and then said, hey, check out like a podcast episode, everything after episode whatever gets a little wonky, and and then I looked on her YouTube channel and I didn't see anything that jumped out saying podcast, so I'm not doing any work to find that. What I am going to do, however, is just watch this one video with a random title that I thought might be interesting: a profound realization about oneness. I want to know all about oneness. I would love to know what that profound realization is. So Kiran Trace claims to be a spiritual teacher. Let's see if she makes the grade. Oh, I should say that this looks to be a Q&A. I mean, there's no real video here, so it looks to be a Q&A from a retreat that she's doing. And it says Satasang, as you'll see on the screen. I thought that was spelled Satsang. I don't have internet access at the moment, but I didn't realize there were 3 A's in that word, but nevertheless, it's neither here nor there. I'm probably wrong. So here we go. That'll be the first and last time I'm ever wrong. Ting.
So when you were talking about going deeper, wandering in, wanting God, I'm having trouble discerning my ego wanting that versus my awareness wanting that.
I probably shouldn't jump in this early, but I mean, if this is a video about oneness and you're talking about wanting God, I've already got an issue. Like I'm flaring up with the alarm bells here, but okay, let's keep going. Also, ego, again, we've talked about this before in the show, the distinction between ego and self, the distinction between I and I, right? I mean, just think of it that way. Think of how silly it is that we talk about the ego as though it's something not us, something that we need to work on, when it is you. You are that. So here we go.
Ego wants it. Of course, it doesn't happen. And then it's just back up into resistance.
Ego wants it. Like, see, again, this is the problem with this language, is like, ego wants it. I don't want it. It's my ego. How do I... Well, the first step to taking care of that ego of yours is to reintegrate it as yourself and not be a schizophrenic spiritually or psychologically, psychospiritually speaking. Yeah.
And I don't know what to do when I hit that wall. And I've been sort of experiencing that every single time, and I get deeper. At each day that passes, it deepens.
Okay, so in this moment,
we're all very, very quiet and out of breath, because that's seriousness. And when we're talking about spirituality, we must be serious and we must be NPR quiet.
we sort of take a wide lens with your awareness that would allow everything that's here. Any irritation in your body, and that mental grip and trying. So if this moment is arising like this, where does your awareness go that allows it all in a wide embrace?
I believe the correct response to that is, what?
It's almost like it goes in and out simultaneously.
Yeah.
It becomes like sort of a visual.
Do you think he could have said anything and she would have said, yeah? Is he hypnotized? Like, what's really going on here? This breathiness is killing me.
Almost a focal point in like the middle of wherever this is. I don't know where this is, but that's how it's moving. It's like the sound starts to come in.
Sure. Sure. It is
Yes, and it's improv.
all in something. Yeah. It's not necessarily in you, but if you're sensing the inness, then what is that holds it?
It has to be God.
It does, but look directly. From that same wide perception. And it almost keeps dropping in that this is the only moment. And it's showing up like this. So where is God here?
It's everywhere.
Yes.
Does anyone know what they're talking about? Does anyone care? Is this thing on? Is this thing even on? Okay. Do I have to go on with this? I mean, this might win the shortest He's So Vaeni ever, but let's just see where this goes, if anywhere. I mean, where's the profound revelation here about oneness? That's what I'm wondering. Oh, is it that oneness is everywhere, but you're calling it God, but it's not God? It's something else? Oneness? Whatever.
Stay right there. Just witness that.
Witness
It is
it.
that which is witnessing separate from it. It is it.
Okay, there's no need to breathe into the microphone like that. Come on. I mean, you know. Come on.
Everything's included. Heartburn, runny nose.
Achy, stuffy head fever. You got a cough. Medicine. I don't know. So you know, okay, I get where this is going, and the thing is, so do you probably. Like, you get it. You're the all. Visualize it. Blah blah blah. You and one are one. But my question is, like, who hasn't heard this already? Like, why is this to this gentleman any sort of revelation? Um, I think, like, as I hear him, of course, I've never heard him before. I don't know him. I haven't even seen him, but it sounds like the kind of thing where you just are going through the motions of not understanding because that's who you have self-identified as. Somebody who goes to these retreats, somebody who speaks up but never quite gets it, but gets it in the moment when you're there, you know, kind of like a miracle healing, you know, where the evangelist lays on hands and you can walk for like a minute and then you leave, he leaves, and like 20 minutes later or something, like you're back to limping and you're back to your wheelchair or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this is like the spiritual version of or maybe like, I don't know, rationalized in the head spiritual version of an adrenaline rush to me. But let's just see if maybe he has a lasting epiphany here and doesn't go to the next retreat. Let's find out.
Stay with that. This music, a cough. What would take you out?
My agenda to go deeper.
Yes. Yes, I'll say these words and then an agenda forms to go deeper. My agenda to go deeper starts to eclipse. And then the next movement is, how do I drop the agenda?
Okay, I'll say right here, she is correct. Like this is the crux of the problem. She's winning me over here, folks. Oh man, seventh inning stretch, and then I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'm getting a little soft in my old age, but no, that really is it. Like if you're gonna say like what takes you out of the now or out of the moment, um, it's the next moment that you're projecting. It's this agenda that you have.
But can you see, it's lovely. The agenda, the how-to is also welcome here. It's also part of the moment.
And suddenly, like, I can feel my heart start to, there's a movement there.
Yeah. Presence, the presence of God.
Okay, now she lost me again. Never mind. The game's over. I don't want to talk about the presence of God. That's not a thing. Also, you're not in the moment if you're sitting here talking to each other, right? Like you can say this moment where we're both talking to each other is all accounted for, but you're actually in the moment of the moment. In other words, you're in time doing a time thing, which is speaking, communicating. So you're not really and then this guy's, searching his memory banks for an answer. So again, I think like we get addicted to, or maybe that's too strong a word, but whatever word you want to use, I mean, we develop an affinity for the feelings that we have when like, in other words, if this guy is going to accept that having an agenda to further himself spiritually or onenessy, if he accepts that that is the thing keeping him from the onenessy, the spiritually, if he accepts that, then he's still doing it because that's how much we want to remain ourselves. And the way that he still does it is by continuing to go to things like this and emote and talk out, converse about, and well up with feelings about what he's going through, right? As he's purging himself of wanting more. That is the wanting more, the purging your, and she's sort of saying it, but she's also saying like, oh, and it's all accounted for in this moment. And I don't find that to be helpful, but okay.
It kind of opens that field of your heart. God meets you. The presence of God meets you.
No.
And it holds you.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That movement. That's that slight kundalini straightening your spine, opening the heart.
No. Okay. I'm done. I can't. It's gonna take a turn where I'm gonna get upset. It always happens this way, right? I mean, this is the, God, I'm gonna get a rash about the inauthenticity of this. Hold on. Okay, let's just keep going a little further.
Straightening through the spine. And then let's stay here for one moment. Can the awareness, without the agenda, just is the awareness deepening? This God is everywhere.
Yeah, just staying with the heart.
Yeah, just stay with the heart, huh? God, is this part of the reason people think they're having Kundalini experiences all the time when they're not? It's just because some alleged spiritual teacher tells you you feel your spine straightening. That's not because you're uncomfortable in a chair like me. That's because you're Kundalini, huh? And then God, what are we talking about? Like, what God are we talking about? And maybe that's my own deficit in not being familiar with her. Is she talking about a religious God? Is she using God in some great general thing? Like, why can't you just stick with oneness then? Like, why are we talking about a loaded word like God, and then personifying that God by saying God needs you, God wants you, God whatever's you?
Just stay with it. And is there a depth available? Can you see how there's surrender? Or like you gotta kind of drop some stuff to really allow that vastness to meet that deepness.
This is just words, man. Okay. I'll go one more. But again, this idea of can you go deeper? Is there more depth? Like on the one hand, I mean, just in terms of what she's talking about, on her own terms, you're trying to say to the guy, stop having an agenda. And then meanwhile, here's the agenda. Are you going deeper? Can you see it? Can you see it deeply? But like, pull back from that and look at what is this depth we're talking about that he is supposed to access? I guess that's the question, because truth is an all or nothing proposition. Timelessness is an all or nothing proposition. There is no, all the thing of depth, all the thing of hierarchical thinking, depth. We always talk about spirituality, climbing the spiritual ladder, but depth is another version of that, right? Go deeper. It's just up and down on this, what is really monkey bars, from the timeless perspective. But within time, it looks like we're going deeper, shallower, or higher and higher, or whatever terminology you want to use. But will that get you to oneness? Being able to talk this out, being able to creatively visualize it, being able to imagine yourself in this situation with the aid of a calming voice? Or does it just like kind of hypnotize you into feeling okay until you leave, and then you're like confused again because you never were not confused? There never was clarity. There never was a eureka moment, or you would have gotten up and left by now, or fallen silent because what's left to talk about?
Not just the agenda, but something subtler.
My agenda.
Like a me. You go to meet all this that is. And to really be with it, you have to keep moving with it, not with you.
He's so very